Thank you for watching Lord Duncan's Rock and World. This week we've got a special guest, Mr. DAVEY CHAINZ. Let's bring him on right now. There we go. We are now live with Mr. DAVEY CHAINZ. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, buddy. How are you? Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you. I'm just happy the sun is out. I'm sad about my Twins. I'm sad about the Wild. It seems when both win, they both win. When the one loses, the other one loses. So, and then the damn T-Wolves the other night as well. So I'm hoping they at least pull off a win tomorrow. We'll see. So, so where you live now and where you from originally?
I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and I grew up. Yeah, I grew up in the Gravesend section of Brooklyn, which basically encompasses Coney Island, and which is home of the Nathan's famous hot dogs. So I grew up eating a lot of hot dogs when I was a kid. And I lived in Brooklyn for about 10 years, and then we moved out to Long Island. And both my parents worked out on the island, so it was kind of convenient for us to move out there.
Sure. Does that mean you were an Islander fan then?
I am an Islander fan. They could be doing better.
I hear. Well, I'm happy we got Bill Guerin at least from the Islanders and as our GM, and I think he's doing an okay job. He unfortunately had to deal with that whole Parisi and what's his name deal, those two horrible contracts, but I think we're finally through that this year, I think, hopefully. I absolutely love that that brand new alternate jersey the Islanders have. It's like a dark blue, purplish blue with a really cool orangish red color. Dude, that is a sick jersey.
That's a rocking jersey.
Absolutely. Very nice. So what brought you where you live? You're in Minnesota now, right?
No, I'm in Manchester Township, New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Now you're in New Jersey. Okay, very nice. So what made you a Viking fan?
I've been a Viking fan since the mid '60s.
Oh, okay. So I'm just a few years in. I think they came in 60, 61. And then
actually 64.
Mid-60s. Okay.
Mid '60s, and at that time it was kind of rare. You know, today they have doubleheader games, and at that time they had a doubleheader game between the 49ers and the Vikings, and that just happened to be the game where Jim Marshall picked up the fumble and ran 60 yards the wrong way. And I said, you know, that's a team I like.
Nice. Well, as you know, he's one of the 6 numbers that's been retired. Good old number 70, which is the year I was born. So I'm gonna probably just get a Marshall jersey one of these days because I really want to wear 70. You know. How about heritage? What kind of heritage do you have?
Russian and Hungarian.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess the name is what, Galiski?
Yep. And my father's family came from Belarus, Minsk in Belarus.
Okay.
My grandfather was a soldier in the Russian cavalry, and at the time the Russian Revolution began, it was not good for Jews in Russia. I'm also Jewish. So that was the time that my grandfather said, okay, it's time to split. And he came to the United States, and he enlisted in the United States Army, and he fought in World War I.
Oh, wow.
And it took about 7 years.
World War I. World War I, isn't that the one where we actually were teamed up with Russia in World War I, were we not?
Yes. And unfortunately, the revolution came at a bad time, so the Russian army had to capitulate and signed a treaty with the Germans. So they basically backed out and just left the United States, Great Britain, and France to fight the Germans.
Sure,
And
sure. Well, I had a great grandfather, Leon. He fought. There we are. Here we go. Something happened. One of those days, but just doesn't want back either way.
I hope it's not my tablet. I had to use my tablet instead of my computer and my laptop. So I hope it's not the
Sure.
not the tablet.
Well,
That's
yeah, everything's okay here.
Okay, good.
Hey, it's no big deal. As long as it doesn't happen too much, we'll be good. Yeah, I believe my grandfather was missing a lot of his toes from World War One. I do remember sitting in his lap and meeting him a few times. And my family has a very handsome picture of him. And I'm begging my aunt to let me have, because the dude had the awesome hair. He was looking like a complete stud. So when he came back after World War One, he started up a store down in Blue Earth, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
How about favorite music or any favorite artists that you'd like to see or have seen in your day of music at all?
I grew up a Beatles fan, a Grateful Dead fan, The Who.
Hey, dude, I saw that.
I wouldn't say I'm a true Deadhead, because there's only selected music that I particularly like from them. I like their early improvisational stuff. Once they became commercial, they kind of like.
I hear you. Yeah, all the fusion jazz, kind of jazzy, acid jazz stuff. Yeah, totally. I like it all. Everything from late '60s to at least all the way up to at least 1990. I saw Brent's last 3 shows in Chicago before he offed himself on Monday, ODing on what he and Jerry liked. They like those speedballs,
Yeah.
Which must be pretty awesome or something. But I ain't gonna risk it. Yep. I saw the Dead a few times with Jerry, and of course I love the Stones. I saw them, and I saw Clapton a few times as well. And all that classic rock for sure. Of course, I'm also into punk rock and old '70s jazz like Herbie Hancock and Miles Davis, all that. So I guess a little of everything, really. How about your favorite food? Any kind of food you love or hate?
As long as it doesn't have lima beans in it.
Oh, okay. No lima beans. There you go. That's an easy fix.
Yeah.
So you're not very picky. Then. Just no lima beans. Very good.
I'll give you quick, if you want to hear a quick story about how I almost caused a riot in the mess hall in basic training over lima beans. I was going through the chow line in the mess hall, and there was a young private behind the counter, and I said, "You got any corn?" And he goes, oh yeah, I got some corn here." So he slaps this stuff on my tray, and I'm like, "What is this shit?" And I said it like really loud, and one of the mess sergeants come out, and he goes, what's the matter? And I said, "Well, I asked this young private here for some corn, and he slapped some crap on my plate." And the mess sergeant goes, "Haven't you ever had succotash before?" And I said, "I never even seen succotash before until now." He goes, "Well, where are you from?" And I said, "Well, I'm from Brooklyn. We don't eat succotash all that much." And he goes, "Well, you got to give it a shot." Yeah. And I said, "Well, I'd rather not." And he goes, "Just try it." And I said, "Okay." I tried it. I didn't like it. So anytime I went to the mess hall, got succotash, flicked the beans off, that was it. But lima beans are my kryptonite.
Wow. Well, hey, I hear there. I don't think there's anything I don't like. Dream vacations or any place you'd like to go or have been to?
Right now, I think I've done enough traveling. You know, over the past 15 years, I've done a lot of traveling because I was in the reserves and I was mobilized. So I was sent overseas. One place, it was okay. I was sent to England. And then my second deployment, I was in Iraq. But I was fortunate enough that I was able to get a hardship transfer because my mother had just become a widow. And, I have a handicapped sister. So my sister wasn't able to take care of my mother. So I got that hardship discharge and I got sent back home. And I eventually.
Before I forget to say it. And then you eventually.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, before I forget, thank you for your service. I appreciate it very much, and all of our viewers do as well. I just want to say thank you right now for everybody.
You're welcome.
My dad was a big Navy guy. I wanted to go in the Navy. My mom begged me not to go. And at the time, in 88, there was nothing going on. And well, until there's been nothing since like Grenada and I don't know. And of course, Desert Storm in 91. So I would have been in that. But she begged me not to do it. I'm like, all right, I'll just go to some private college, whatever.
Yeah. Well, my dad was in the Navy during the Second World War. And he saw a lot of action in the Pacific. He was a naval aviator. And fortunately or unfortunately for him, he only flew 3 missions because he got shot down on his third one. And he got wounded.
No.
And yeah. And he ended up recuperating in Hawaii. And then he went back out and he was assigned to an escort carrier. So if you know anything about the Navy and escort carriers, all they do is they just transport the planes from the ship onto land.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty sweet deal for him.
That's what my dad was on. My dad was on one of those, and he was in the Navy from 61 to 67.
Yeah. When I meet people and they find out I'm in the military, I was in the military, and they say, well, what branch do you think I should join? I tell them, join the Air Force or join the Navy. At least you know where your bed is going to be every night.
That's a very good point. Instead of being in some patch of weeds, fighting mosquitoes, and worrying about getting ambushed, yeah, no shit. My dad wanted to be in a submarine, but he was too tall. My dad was like 6'4", so he couldn't be on a submarine. He's too tall.
Yeah, that would have you'd wind up with a couple of nice lumps on the head.
Yep, that was the main reason, exactly.
Hmm.
How about your next Twins jersey?
I beg your pardon?
If that's something. What is your next Minnesota Vikings or Twins jersey? You're gonna be a Twins fan. You're probably a Yankee fan, right? The Yankees or Mets?
No, I'm a Met fan, but I'm not a big of a Met. The Met fans Mets have fallen on hard times over the past couple of years, and that's basically due to poor ownership. And when you have poor owners, the fans don't want to. They don't want to come out to the stadium and watch the team. So revenue is down. Then you can't keep players because you don't have the money. And we're just long-suffering fans, Met fans.
Yeah, and not to mention, last few years, I think they kind of been overspending and still with no outcome. Mm-hmm. So all that.
No outcome. Nope, they were in first place for like 3/4 of the season, and then they ended up winding up.
And I was happy when the guy from the Cleveland Indians, the shortstop, I was happy when he went there. I could not stand that fucker's smile, and I hated him playing against the Twins all the time. So when you guys took him, I was very, very happy.
Yeah, the only thing I know about the Twins is Joe Mauer. Oh, and Johan Santana,
okay,
right?
Right. Well, Joe Mauer's going in Cooperstown this summer, so I personally I didn't know if he really apparently had the amount of Gold Gloves and the batting title, the at bats, the consistent single doubles. he never hit a whole lot of home runs at all. And that's why I was a little surprised when he actually made it on his first ballot. But he did. I mean, all 15 years as a Twin and a bunch of Gold Gloves and consistently, a batting title guy. So that I guess that's why, so I'm happy for him to make it. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good. It's hard to watch the Mets these days.
Golf or bowling?
I'm a golfer.
I hear you. Golf, cool.
Bowling. I used to bowl. My high game was a 267. And
that's better than I've ever gotten. Yeah.
Yeah, that was about 40 years ago. I bowled a 267, and I had a little bit too much to drink that night. So I think if I was a little bit more sober, I wouldn't have done very well.
That's how it works sometimes. I'm telling you. I actually worked in LA, in Denver. It's called Lucky Strike,